So 2025 is your year for a wellness glow up and you want to do 75 hard or some other fitness challenge. I've already done 75 hard. Here were my results. And I'm going to share with you the main tips that are going to get you mentally and physically prepared so you can do it too. I'm Ellie Luna. This is Industry of Cool, where we share wellness and beauty things every Sunday. Let's begin. Tip number 1. The main thing to know is it's mental as much as it is physical. I did a softer, self-guided challenge before jumping into 75 hard. I knew mentally I wasn't in a place where I could handle such a big challenge. And physically, I knew that even though I've always worked out pretty regularly, between 2020 and 2022, I had gotten a little complacent and I wasn't at my former intensity. So I wanted to start bringing that intensity up again. I did it for 22 weeks where I would film portions of my workouts and share them on Instagram stories and sometimes on my Instagram feed. You don't have to do 22 weeks. Maybe you do 30 days. It's really up to you. I did what felt right for me, and you're going to have to feel that out. Tip number 2, set a timeline and set a goal for this timeline. What do you want to get out of it? Do you want to get into the habit of 3 workouts a week? Do you want to be able to run a certain distance? Whatever it is, set a goal so that you know if you're killing it. Without a goal, you don't have a destination, and it can kind of feel like it's just going on and on forever and you'll get bored. Tip 3, have an agreement with yourself outside of the challenge. I believe when we feel drawn to these kinds of challenges, there's a part of us that's already where we want to be, pulling us towards those challenges. So I like to make an agreement with that part of myself that says, I'm going to honor you by doing X, Y, and Z. When my head hits the pillow at the end of the night, this is how I want to feel. This is what I want to have accomplished. As long as I do that, I feel good, and that helps build confidence because you keep your word with yourself. Once you have that clarity on how you want to feel at the end of the day, that's your North Star. And then all the little activities and things on your checklist that you have to do to feel that is just a means to an end. They're just steps to a way bigger picture. And then they don't feel like such a big deal anymore. Number 4, vary your workout. One of the biggest mistakes I always see people make when they want to get in shape is that they go super hard and they do the same thing over and over, like running or cycling or boxing or whatever it is. They go head first, super intense, and then they either get injured because they don't allow that part of the body to at least have a rest day, or they get bored, or they just burn out. The creator of the 75 Hard Challenge himself had to get shoulder surgery while doing his own challenge. My brain doesn't respond well to feeling like I'm being punished, so that doesn't really work for me. And last but not least, you have to get clear on what your mindset is. Why are you doing this challenge? If any of this feels like a chore and you don't feel inspired to rise to the occasion, you're going to fall to your habits. Getting through 75 days of that is going to feel almost impossible. You have to really get clear on your mindset around this challenge. How do you feel about yourself? How do you feel about your body? How are you approaching this? Because if you're punishing yourself for the way that you've been living, it's going to be hard to feel inspired to do the work. I find motivators like being in integrity with myself, being inspired to meet my higher self. I find these themes to be more in alignment with how I think, how I feel, and what I believe, more so than I'm going to beat myself into submission, punish myself for my choices, and then force myself into a new lifestyle. One just works for me and one doesn't. One framing that works for me and inspires me to action is this idea that there's a calling on my life. There's a version of me that is calling me towards it, and I'm just trying to get there. For me, that's an inspiring way to frame it, and it makes me want to work towards it. If you can make doing a challenge about the relationship you have with yourself and not about the relationship you have to the actual challenge, it is such an unlock that the challenge becomes a smaller thing. Anyone who's done 75 hard will tell you it's really a mental challenge more than anything. And the physical manifestation of it is just a side effect of what you have to do mentally to even get there. So let's recap. 1, start with your own self-guided soft challenge to get mentally prepared. It's going to help you build confidence, it's going to raise your morale, and it's going to give you the sense that you can take on a bigger challenge. In that challenge, you want to set goals, set a deadline, set something to reach for so that when you get there, you recognize that you've arrived. Make an agreement with yourself. Share it with someone if it helps you stay accountable, and make that agreement your North Star. You need to give parts of your body rest. Do different kinds of movement and never do movement that you hate. If you like to dance, dance. If you like bar, Pilates, yoga, whatever it is, switch it up, keep it interesting, and tap into how you feel that day and do a workout that matches your mood. Move your body in a way that you enjoy. Don't do anything that feels like a chore. If you hate a certain type of exercise, don't do it. If you don't like HIIT cardio, don't do HIIT. Maybe do low impact HIIT. Maybe you would like that more. Or don't do HIIT at all. Maybe walk for an hour. Whatever feels good to you is what you're going to come back to. I would be careful for language like being good, being bad. I would avoid language like that altogether. Either you're in integrity or you're out. You're doing the challenge or you're not. And these are also ways that we avoid playing these little games with ourselves. Like, we all know how we are, our triggers, the things that set us off the path that we're supposed to be on because we chose to be on it. Just keeping that general awareness of your kind of habits and staying on top of it is such a game changer. I hope these tips are going to help you reach your goals with 75 Hard. I know that you can do it. And the other thing is too, just because it's January doesn't mean you have to start now. Start when you're ready. It can be a goal that you set for yourself to do this year, but it doesn't have to be now. You can't come from where you are now and dive straight into that and not get burned out, tired, exhausted. Like this video, subscribe for more wellness and beauty things, and come back and let me know how it goes. I hope these tips were helpful, and I can't wait to hear about how it goes. I'll see you next Sunday.